Hello guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It's me, Big Mike, and I'm coming at you with another update video on the David Grusch situation. Now in this video, fam, it's going to be different from my previous update videos, as this is not a political video. This video right here has absolutely nothing to do with politics, but it does have something to do with history. So no disclaimer needed here, fam. So in case you can't tell my voice, I'm very excited about today, fam. Today I'm going to get to touch on something that's very dear to me, something I work with quite a lot in my personal life. So let's jump into this, shall we? Today's video is all about a claim that David Grusch has made that may in fact have some evidence to corroborate it.
1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy. They recovered a partially intact vehicle. Italian government moved it to a secure air base in Italy for the rest of kind of the fascist regime until 1944, 1945, and the Pope Pius XII back-channeled that.
So the Vatican was involved.
Yeah, and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up scooping it.
In his interview, David Grusch stated that the first recovered UFO crash took place in 1933. A great deal of time before the Roswell incident, and this crash happened in fascist Italy. After the crash, Italian dictator Mussolini tried to hide the crash and keep it a secret. Then at the end of the Second World War, the Pope tipped off the U.S. military about the craft, at which point the U.S. government took it in its possession. Grusch was briefed on the supposed June 1933 crash by a staffer who allegedly worked on a non-human craft in a secret U.S. government program. And below I'll post a link to an article that'll go into more detail about the story behind this. But recently a researcher, Roberto Pianotti, has brought documents to light that may validate this claim. Roberto explained, "I and my colleague Alfredo Lissoni began investigating the story of the 1933 UFO crash in Lombardy in 1996 when we received some original secret documents about the case. Among the documents sent was one making reference to a secret government department called Gabinetto RS-33, or the RS Special Research 33 Cabinet, which allegedly was used to recover and study the crashed UFO, as well as investigating other UFO-related happenings. Also included were handwritten memos on paper with a government agency letterhead dated August 22, 1936, which included a sketch and a description of a cylindrical aircraft with portholes on the side and white and red lights spotted flying over northern Italy. However, most importantly for our discussion here today, among these documents were some telegrams, and they are what I really want to focus on here today. I want us to take a look at these telegrams, and we're going to read them. However, before we do that, I want to share some information about them. Included are two telegrams from June 1933, written in Italian. One demanding absolute silence over an alleged landing on national soil of unknown aircraft. Another dated June 13th threatens the immediate arrest and maximum penalties for any journalist reporting news of an aircraft of unknown nature and origin. Immediate recasting of any leads from newspapers bearing said news is ordered, the second telegram said. Both say they are by personal order of Mussolini himself. And before I read them, I just want to point out that they are, as I mentioned, telegraphs. And so they will sound a bit weird because back then, when they were communicated, they did so via Morse code before being written down into a spoken language, in this case Italian. So you're going to hear and see the word stop a lot. The first telegraph, dated from June 13th, 1933, reads, or should I say the translation reads, of personal order of the Deuce. Okay, so I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but it refers to Mussolini. Of personal order of Mussolini, it is disposed immediate arrest, diffusion of news related to aircraft of unknown nature and origin of riches in dispatch of Stefani, date today, 7:30 a.m. Stop. Immediate recasting of any leads from the newspapers bearing said news is ordered. Stop. Maximum penalties for transgressors are foreseen up to refer to the Supreme Court of State Security. Stop. Immediate confirmation of receipt required. Stop. Gentile Director of Special Affairs. End stop. The second telegram from June 13th, 1933 states, by superior order, it is disposed to treat news diffused with Stefani's dispatch NR 6631C of today as follows: aircraft above recognized as meteor, repeats meteor, by Brera Astronomical Observatory, stop. Give minimal graphic relevance to news, stop. No need repeat, no need to correct, stop. Minimize, stop. Immediately confirmation of receipt required, stop. Director Special Affairs, end, stop. The third telegraph reads, by personal order of Mussolini, absolute silence is ordered on presumed landing on national soil of unknown aircraft, stop. Version to publish diffused with today's dispatch by Stefani is confirmed. Same version also for staff and journalists, stop. Maximum penalties foreseen for transgressors up to deferment to state security Supreme Court, stop. Immediate confirmation of receipt requested, stop. Director Special Affairs, ends, stop. So here are my thoughts on all of this. I find it extraordinary that we have documents that can attest to this situation, but we have to be cautious. Documents can be faked, and this is something I do know a great deal about. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I studied philosophy and religion when I was in university, focusing mostly on religious texts, their history and interpretation. So every so often, there would be a major discovery of a new text or a collection of texts like the Dead Sea Scrolls or the Nag Hammadi Library that would completely shake up our world, or at least the world of the field I studied in. However, sometimes there would be an earth-shattering discovery like the Gospel of Jesus' wife. It was a fragment the size of a credit card written in Coptic, which is Egyptian written in Greek letters. It tantalized my field, and the news websites were abuzz with it. However, it later turned out to be a modern forgery. It turned out to be a patchwork of texts copied from another ancient text, the Gospel of Thomas, or the Sayings Gospel of Thomas. So whenever I see historical documents, especially those that present a shocking historical narrative, I tend to approach them with caution. And here I think we need to do the same thing. The documents need to be fully studied and analyzed to make sure they are authentic. Pinotti has been attempting to do so. The Italian researcher had one of his documents dated 1936, tested by a forensic expert who concluded the paper and ink was from that period. The 1933 telegrams have not been tested. The conclusion of the 2000 report by scientific consultant Antonio Garavaglia, shared with DailyMail.com, says, it can be stated with reasonable certainty that only the sample examined and the subject of the appraisal can be considered original and therefore authentic. However, skeptics have pointed out that vintage paper and ink from the time could have been used to forge the papers, that they bear no protocol numbers or official stamps that would help verify them as real government documents, appearing instead to be more like personal memos. And I believe the skeptics raise a very realistic issue here. Based on my studies, both ink and paper from the time period can be used to give it the date of whatever period a forger wishes. Old paper or papyrus isn't as uncommon as you'd think. So in lieu of that, we can look into other features of the text, such as vocabulary or grammar. Are those things appropriate for the time period? Are there any anachronisms? And that seems to be what skeptics are doing here, or it seems like they're doing something similar, in stating there are no protocol numbers or official stamps. Also, it's worth noting, and this has even surprised me, that other Italian UFO researchers have poured scorn on the story. Giuseppe Stillo, a member of the Italian Center for UFO Studies, told Vice News Italy, from a scientific point of view, these are embarrassing stories. Any historian would blanch at seeing how one claims to prove one thing or the other. And yeah, so I found that part to be very much surprising, just as much as I found the older members of the UFO community to be skeptical of David Grusch's claims. Now, with that being said, I would love to see all these documents tested and authenticated. Until then, I'm going to reserve judgment and either claim they are real or fabricated. But what do you think? Please comment below and let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you on this subject. And with that out of the way, I think we're going to end it here. Special thanks to Fran, who does a wonderful job of doing my art. She's back on Twitter, so please give her a follow. A special thanks to all my friends on Twitter. I wouldn't be here without you all. And most importantly, a special thank you to all of you for watching. Please like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Feel free to comment below and let me know what you think. And if you like my content, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. Until next time, fam, remember, just be yourself and you'll be awesome. Peace out!